welcome back to our channel here, and we are going to answer some of your questions today, and also get into
celebrating Ezra's
third anniversary
home. It's been a crazy few weeks, but here we are, back again. And so let's just hop right on in. Somebody had a question for you. Do you remember your adoption day? There we go.
I don't remember my adoption day because I was 6 months old and my memory is already really bad. But if I was 6 months old at the time, it would be even worse. I think one of my youngest memories is like maybe when I was 5. So I don't remember the first 5 years of my life. So
I think that's typical. I mean, I don't remember much either.
I don't remember my adoption day, but I do have some documentation on it, pictures. I used to have a video until my parents lost it. Guilt trip, mom, dad. But no, I don't remember, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because that would be fun. That'd be a lot of fun.
Next question from one of you guys. I just watched your last video and really appreciate Peter's vulnerability in sharing his story. Trauma and grief are very real, but as Peter said, not for every kid. I'm interested in his advice, though, about how to help my teen who is very angry with his birth mother for abandoning him. He wants to meet her one day and just ask her if she cared about him. I'm most certain she did. Until that time, how do I help him to keep moving forward and put some of the anger to the side until he has the opportunity to meet her? I'm not discounting his anger, but what does Peter think would be helpful to say to my son? This is definitely a hurt that I can't fix, which is hard. Thank you.
Well, I'll do my best to remember all of that.
It's right here.
And answer. I would say, first and foremost, just to be present, physically and emotionally for him, because we may or may not have much to say, but sometimes it means a lot just to be there, or if he's angry or emotional, or if he's crying, just to be there. He can rest on your shoulder. It's possible to introduce him to maybe some other kiddos who were adopted as well, to widen his perspective on birth parents and what other kids might also be feeling, other emotions that they're going through, struggles, or maybe they're positive things. It's hard to say if our birth parents love us or not. I don't know if mine does, but at the end of the day, they did put us up for adoption. It could have been worse. We could have been aborted instead of adopted. They didn't have to go through labor and delivery. There's a lot of different things there, which does speak volumes, and I think is really, really cool. Yeah, just, man, pouring your love on him, making sure he knows that you love him, I think is really important. I don't know if you guys are Christians or not, but just reassuring him of God's love for him and how we're going to be adopted, or we are adopted into Jesus' family, and we're heirs to his throne. And then, of course, a counselor or some professional help isn't out of the question. I don't know if I would jump to it right off the bat, but just kind of feel it out. It's hard. Did she mention how old he was?
I mean, she says teenager.
Oh, teenager, okay. See, that's another tricky thing too, is when you're a teenager, I'm just speaking from my own self, but when you're a teenager, you're already super confused. It doesn't help anything, and you're trying to figure out who you are. So I don't know I don't know how mature he is emotionally or stable he is emotionally. It's just hard to say.
Like, would it be a time, because he is a teenager, like he could technically seek out his birth mom and ask her this question personally? Or,
Yeah.
you know, like...
I would say if you believe that he is at an appropriate age to seek her out, if you think that he would be okay with whatever the outcome is, then I wouldn't necessarily hold him back. It's hard to know for certain, like, if you're ready, because one, she may not want to see him. Two, she may not love him. Or, I mean, the opposite could be true too. Like, she could be wondering where he's been her whole life. I mean, you name it, there's outcomes all over the spectrum. So it's hard to say. But really, you should be able to do your best to weigh if he's ready to pursue that or not. If I was 13, 14, 15, I don't know if it would have been good for me. Even in my late teens, I was just really wasn't ready. Now that I'm 35, maybe, maybe I am now, but beforehand, it's just really tough. It's really hard to know. And of course, if that does happen, or when that does happen, it does introduce a lot of complexities to relationships. Not to discourage it, but I'm just saying it's probably going to be a reality. So it's just a real tough one. But long-winded answer.
That was very long-winded.
Love him, love him, love him. Be there for him, be present. You don't have to have magical things to say, but you can just be there and assure him that, you do have his best interest in mind. And for a teenager, especially if it's not something that he wants to do or wants to hear, it can be really tough. So that's really, really hard.
I agree with Peter on those. I feel like maybe some counseling would help if he doesn't... I mean, he's very angry with his birth mom, and I'm like, what is the root cause? Like, what is causing him to be so angry at his birth mom?
Yeah, and I could always have a conversation with him too. I'm just some random guy who is also adopted.
Yeah.
I could talk to him as well, or I know some other folks too who would not mind having conversations with him. And anyway, just throwing it out there.
I think it's good that you are already aware and that you're proactively thinking about these things, and that that you can't fix his hurt. So I think there are already some really good things that you have in place as his parent. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. I feel like there's no one answer fits all.
Yeah, it's hard. But follow-up questions, of course, ask us. If you want us to have a conversation with you guys, we'd be willing. And not like we'd have magical things to say either, but at least you could have another perspective on birth parents too.
Yes. And then going on to how we really feel about adopting Ezra 3 years later, and also like, where are we now? Like, how is Ezra doing? I know people have been asking for a 3-year update.
Yeah, so he's 5. He turned 5. It was amazing.
So we just celebrated his birthday last week, and oh my goodness,
he's getting older. All of our kiddos are getting older. He's talking a lot more. Speech is getting a little clearer. He he loves cars. He loves action figures. He
still loves green, the color green.
Loves green. He loves
food.
Any food.
Cheeseburgers.
Cheeseburgers are his favorite. He wanted that for his birthday. It's amazing. It's like my dream come true too. He is just a typical 5-year-old, which we're very, very thankful for. Really, one of the only changes that I can think of is, he used to call us Oma and Appa, but it's definitely becoming less and less, I think. He's definitely saying more mommy and daddy, and it's just what he wants to do. He wants to do it. His brother and sister do it. And that's one of the only things that I can think of. Really, besides that, he's just a typical 5-year-old kid with curiosities and favorite colors and toys, and Loves to play outside. He loves his big wheel tricycle.
Doesn't like to walk or run, but he likes to ride at things.
He doesn't like to walk or run. He definitely tells me all the time, Daddy, I wish I could run with you. And I'm like, son, you remember the last time we tried? We got to the end of the block and I had to carry you. Does not like to walk or run, no.
Yeah,
But,
he's doing so well. And I mean, I don't know, he just feels like he's our kid at this point, and maybe this is not the case for some people. We have just grown a lot as a family together, bonded a lot as a family, and we love Ezra. He's our own child, just like our two other ones, and
you have to adjust to 3 kids. There's no man on man. It's zone defense. I'm sure everybody's heard that before, but it is so true.
Mm-hmm.
Except we have Edith, who helps out a lot. But yeah, really, just the family's growing. The kids are getting older. My back's hurting sitting on this floor. I must be getting older. and things are going well for the time being, but we just take it day by day and thankful for every day that we have. Mm-hmm. And we pray for these kiddos every day. So all you parents out there with kiddos, keep praying for them relentlessly and intentionally.
One thing maybe that he's a little older now, because he's been home since a little before he turned 2. So that's just crazy to think about, that he's 5 now and it's been 3 years, but he is a little older. He does understand a little more, and you guys know, like, we celebrate like his arrival day, we celebrate Peter's arrival day, and also Peter's brother's arrival day. And so he does have, you know, comments every now and then to be like, oh, like, I miss my foster mommy, or I really want to go back to Korea, because he's seen videos of his arrival day and just the time that we were in Korea. And so, I mean, I guess he's more verbal about that, but it's just like, you know, casual talk, and then he goes on and plays.
Yeah, and it's around one time a year.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Whenever it's closer to his arrival day, he's like, "Oh yeah, like I want to go back to Korea. I want to go see my foster family, things like that." Which maybe we can do one day, but yeah.
But it's fun watching him grow. It's fun watching all of them grow. It's fun watching my wife grow. Not taller, but in other ways.
I think that's it. I'm just gonna roll in some clips. I know a lot of you guys have been curious, and we've been vlogging, I don't know, in between here whenever we're not doing adoption videos, and so I'm sure you guys have seen, but I'll just include some clips here of some of our time with Ezra and Edith and Eli to just sum up, you know, how our lives have been. And it's been great. We are very thankful, and I can't believe it's been 3 years, but
yeah. And keep
crazy.
The questions coming.
Yeah.
We're open books, so keep them coming, and we don't have perfect or professional answers, but at least we can share our perspective. And yeah, we do also have some other Q&A coming down the pipeline as well, if we could ever get to it. So there's a lot of questions there that we'll try to tackle as well.
Let's see. There are some things that we are planning on doing that includes relationships, race, birth family, identity, and complexity of adoption, and some other random questions. Regarding adoptees. And so hopefully you guys will look forward to those. Maybe we'll be able to help you see from a different perspective, and I'm very thankful for Peter being willing to do this. And so
and hopefully we won't be on the floor.
Yeah, we just have to work it with Peter's camera today, because my camera was not charged, and here we are on the floor. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, for asking questions, and for reaching out. Feel free to reach out to us anytime. I'll try to answer it in a timely manner. But yes, we will see you guys.
See ya.
In our next one.
Heart to heart to.
Bye.